All right, hello, fifth graders. We are just starting to read a new book called Explorers, Triumphs, and Troubles. Before we start, reminder that you will have all the questions attached in the packet, and they don't exactly go correspond with each chapter or chunk, but if you listen to all of them, and I will try to make it really clear which page I'm on, and that will make it easy for you to know where we are. I'm going to split it up into each region, but today we're just going to do an introduction and read the introduction part. So before we start reading, there's a couple things I want you to think about when we start reading our introduction. First thing is, what background knowledge, or what do you already know about explorers? What explorers can you name? If you can't name any, that's all right. If you can name a bunch, that's also great. And what makes a person an explorer? Right. And there's a couple vocabulary words. Explorer, which can be defined as anybody who goes somewhere new and discovers something. And a triumph is a victory or a win. All right. Here is our book, Explorers, Triumphs, and Troubles. Here is our table of contents. We are going to do the introduction today, and then we have the different subgroups, and we're going to be learning about the explorers in Asia, the Americas, Antarctica, Australia. All right, let's get started. Remember thinking about what makes somebody an explorer and what we know about explorers. Humans have always been explorers. Our earliest ancestors spread far and wide so that eventually people were living on every continent except Antarctica. The people who found these new lands were first explorers. Why explore? Explorers set on their journeys for many different reasons. Looking for land. The first explorers were probably in search of new lands. As the number of humans on Earth grew, people began to look for new places to live. Some explorers wanted to find a new route to a place they already knew about. Christopher Columbus, for example, was trying to find a new way to reach Asia when instead he stumbled across what we now call the Americas. Hunting for wealth. Exploring is often dangerous and sometimes it's deadly. The risk may be worthwhile if you get rich, though. The Spanish explorers of the 1500s who searched for South America's legendary golden one, El Dorado, were examples of wealth seekers. They were looking to get rich. Fame and glory. Being the first to do something, climb Mount Everest or reach the South Pole, for example, meant you would be remembered in the history books. By the early 1900s, many of these firsts were being checked off by fame-hungry explorers. Between the 1400s and the 1800s, many explorers claimed to have discovered new lands, but these lands already had people living there. In fact, the locals had sometimes been living there for tens of thousands of years. How do you think they might have felt about being discovered? Think about that. All right, that is it for the introduction.